Oh,
Mandla!
what up? What's up? How you doing?
It is so good to see you.
Oh, good to see you.
You're a busy man.
How have you been? I mean, I'm following you. You're doing interviews. You're doing all sorts.
Can you believe it's been 20 years?
I know.
I feel like it's been 3 weeks since you and me were sitting in Mr. Murrison's next class.
I know. 20 years. I mean, I've got minions now. You've got minions now.
I know.
It's got a funny way of running away with us.
I know. Crazy. You've done some phenomenal things in the last 20 years. Tell me a little bit about where Black Brain came from. How did that start?
I loved acting because remember at college I did like Midsummer Night's Dream and everyone was like, hey, you need to get into this acting and directing. Went to AFTA, studied. After second year of my studies, I had this group of individuals and we were like, okay, cool. You know what? We can see where South Africa is going. There's not a lot of sitcoms. And we were obsessed with a sitcom called Friends. I mean, everybody knows Friends. So we were like, how about we create the South African version of Friends? And then I opened a production company called Black Brain Pictures. After the third episode, it became the highest watched sitcom and Black Brain Pictures was born. I studied acting and producing and then became a director. So I understand what actors go through and what they need.
And Mandla, music as well, because you were also part of Gang of Instrumentals. You've got this whole understanding of the full package.
I think music is 50% of the picture. Not a lot of people understand that, but it's 50% of the picture. And then, the first single was just, it blew up. It surprised me because it was my number one. It surprised me and it took us everywhere. We performed from, in Tennessee all the way to Hammanskral, you understand? So our audience was just broad.
I've watched some of your Insta Live that you've been doing through lockdown, and you are busy. You are filming. Insta Live is every single day with these incredible people that you're speaking to.
Yeah.
And one of the ones that I watched that I loved so much was that you were spontaneously getting people to just perform their monologues for you.
Yeah.
I mean, the raw talent that you're tapping into. And I love how you've kind of cast casting agencies aside a little bit and gone down to Grassroots and hunted for that raw talent.
Yeah.
Is that part of a signature of your kind of production?
Now with these Insta Live chats, you never know who you might find. I mean, just from, doing it already, there's like 6 people that I think are going to be huge superstars. And also when I started, it was the same thing with the whole sitcoms and dramas, because right now, I mean, people like your Trevor Gumbi were started on Says Top Line. I found him, working at a shop. People like Nomsa Telezi, who's huge now in South Africa. I found, I gave her the first opening, and it goes for a lot of actors in the business. And also as well, crew. I'm working with crew now who are producers that are found as interns. There's guys that are doing big things like Matnoba, is in Durban doing telenovelas. But when he started, he was just chilling in the corner. And I was like, dude, you've got something. And I think that's the spirit that I've always had, I've always started with in the business in terms of exposing the guys that, no one looks at, because that's where the talent is. The talent is in the streets, The talent is not in the guy who can afford to get an agency, afford the photo shoot, afford all of that. It's the guys who can't afford anything.
What is it like to see a Mandla N film in the credits?
I think it's, it's humbling. There's also a whole lot of nerves, because at the end of the day, that's your work and you're as good as your last job, you know what I mean? And the last job that I did was a movie called Loving Togoza, and it was very political because it's set in 1994. And for me, getting someone like Julius Malema going, geez, guys, you need to watch this film, you need to watch this movie, getting government officials, getting everything, it was a kudos. And also as well, it was just a lesson on how 1994 was within South Africa. And I started realizing that my name on end credit means, I need to say something. I need to say a statement. People must have a takeout. If you don't have a takeout from a Mandla N film, it's a problem. Be it a comedy, be it a drama, you must always be moved in some way or another when you're watching a Mandla N film.
I am completely obsessed with Loving Tokoza. I've loved that incredibly powerful message, especially in the current climate that the world is in at the moment, where there's a magnifying glass on social injustice, on racial injustices, nowhere more so than here. And that message, I think, is something that the whole country and world needs to see.
Yeah.
So it's very powerful. Another fantastic thing that I loved about Loving Tokoza is that there is a strong, unsexualized female lead.
Yes.
Like she's powerful, and that is so rare in movies that we see. And so how does that speak for you about the message of, being anti-gender oppression?
I think for me, that journey started when I did Lockdown. I don't know if you've seen Lockdown.
I've watched it all. I loved it.
Oh, all right, okay, cool. It started when I was doing Lockdown, because for the first time when I pitched the idea to Channel, it was rejected 4 times, by the way. When I then started a Lockdown, people were like, whoa, this is really, really huge. Because after, I think, the first episode, it became the highest watched drama in South Africa. And then that's when it showed that, okay, cool, female leads can also hold their own within South Africa. And we went a step further. We said, okay, cool, let's have a female crew as well. Let the heads of department be female, because, you can't tell a female story and all of that if our heads of department are still males and all of that, because we've got a journey to move. And also, as a father of 2 girls, it's a huge responsibility for me to make sure that I create content that they can see themselves as heroes and not as support to heroes. And I was inspired by a story of Charlotte Maxeke, who was the first black female professor to get a degree. You understand? So I took it from that angle and I said, okay, cool. How can we set a story in Tokoza, in the heart of the violence, but all she wants to do is to get these kids to be part of a debating team. And then we use the race and everything that's happening within South Africa at the time as a backdrop. And the nice thing about it is these are issues that are even applying today. You've got those cultural and tribal wars still happening. You've got those race wars still happening. You know what I mean? And I thought that was a great way to portray it. Instead of just being blatant, let my entry point be this teacher who wants to make a difference.
And more than that, there are subtleties in the movie that I think are so clever. The debating team speaking about animal rights.
Yes.
Above the obvious fact that there are human beings sitting next to them that don't have the same kind of rights they're advocating.
Yeah. It's in the what's not being said where the story is. Like, you know what, we need to lose something so that we gain something as South Africa. And that's what happened, you know what I mean? We lost a lot of lives in 1994 to basically gain our freedom. And the conversation for me was like, okay, cool, it's been years later. Where's the conversation? How do we move it forward?
Where to next? What exciting projects have you got on the cards?
I've got another movie that I'm shooting. It's supposed to go on end of year, and it's called Boxing Day. You understand? That's the nice thing about it. It's called Boxing Day. So every Christmas, hopefully they'll play that type of movie. And then obviously, I've got a big documentary that I shot in America and South Africa. And it's called Black on Both Sides. So it's kind of looking at Atlanta as the city and all the Black people that are surviving there, and also Joburg and our struggle, and and just comparisons, because we want to be that side so badly, and they basically want to be this side so badly. You get what I'm saying? So that whole fusion within that, and then. And then I'm creating content every single day, responding to briefs, and just trying to get my voice out there. And also the lives have taken a life of their own. I mean, when I started, I was like, okay, I just want to chat to my friends while I'm on lockdown. And now I'm getting more appeal from, the undiscovered talent saying, you know what, give us the platform. We'll have the platform. And just from that platform, we've discovered, guys that we're going to be putting on, on our shows for Sunday night dramas. And that's a great thing.
Fantastic. You are doing such brilliant, amazing work. And I just wish you all the best. And thanks for chatting to me. I'm watching you with such pride, and I know you're gonna shoot the lights out.
I appreciate that.
Okay, Mandla.
Thank
Thanks
you.
again. Good to speak to you. Look after yourself.
Yeah,
Take care.
man.
Bye.
Shut.